Yesterday, Bitcoin created a new all-time high before the inauguration of Trump, but after that we saw a huge decline by Bitcoin because Trump didn't mention Bitcoin in its speech. However, there are a lot of interesting informations I will discuss with you in this video, and of course I've been away for some time, so this is the video you've been waiting for, and I will exactly tell you what is going to happen in the markets and what we can expect for Bitcoin in the coming days. I will also have a look at the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETF flows. And there is also a lot of interesting news coming into the market because Trump is now president of the United States and he is the first pro-Bitcoin president ever, so this could be a very interesting start of the bull run. Later in the video I will also look at the two altcoins, XRP and Solana, so you want to watch this video all the way to the end to don't miss anything. And if you like these videos, please slap up this like button because it will help my channel a lot. In the description under the video you can also join my free Telegram group. And with that have being said, let's dive right into the charts. During the weekend, Bitcoin opened the CME gap around to $104,400, and we can see that Bitcoin traded around this level during the course of the weekend, just like we always expect. And at the end of the weekend, we didn't close it yet because we saw a huge dump before we ended the weekend. But later we saw a big pump for Bitcoin because a lot of inflows were coming and a lot of buy orders were happening, and then we closed the CME gap, so this was looking beautiful. And at the beginning of the Monday we created a huge all-time high for Bitcoin, and this new all-time high was around to $109,500, so this was a very insane new all-time high of course. After that we saw a lot of decline for Bitcoin, and also during the speech of Trump during his inauguration he didn't even mention Bitcoin, so this was having a little bit of a bearish effect on the price of Bitcoin. Currently we are at the $102,500, so this is also a very interesting price of course, and I think we are still at the beginning of the bull market because there are a lot of interesting things happening in the background, which I will tell about later in the video. And if we zoom out on Bitcoin on a 4-hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is currently in this range, and on the lower side we can see a lot of support coming into the market, and every time we touch this support we created a huge bounce to the top side, and every time we came to this huge horizontal level which acted as support, I was buying more because at this green box of accumulation I've been buying more for the long term, and every time we saw a bounce from this level we created more top side. And also on the higher side of this range we can see that the resistance is coming into the market, and if we zoom in out a little bit to the daily time frame we can see it much clearer because on the lower side we can see this support coming into market, and on the higher side we can see this resistance coming into the market. So this is the range for Bitcoin we are going to trade in for the coming days. And of course we all want to see this break to the top side, and if we're going to break it to the top side we are waiting for a retest to test this previous resistance as support, and from there we can aim for higher targets, and then we can also aim for a new all-time high, and then of course we can come to levels around to $110,000 and beyond. So this could be very bullish in the coming days, but there's also a bear scenario possible that we're coming all the way back to this lower side support, and that means that we're coming back to the $92,000, but that's of course nothing that we want to see. So keep in mind that it is still possible, but I think we will still see more chances that we're going to break to the top side. And if we then have a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow, we can see that yesterday nothing happened because the markets were closed in America, and that was all because of Martin Luther King Day, and also because of the inauguration of Trump. But last week we saw a huge inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs, and we are now coming above the $38 billion. And if we have a look at the total cumulative inflow graph, we can see a new all-time high was occurring last week. So let's see if this week can be also very bullish, and if we can see a continuation of the bullish inflows. And we are coming closer to the $40 billion of total cumulative inflow, so this is insane, and this will only pump up the price of Bitcoin even more. And if we then have a look at the Ethereum ETF flows, we can see that last week also was very bullish for Ethereum. Also yesterday nothing happened because the markets were closed. So let's see if this week can also be very bullish for Ethereum, because Ethereum could also use a push, because we are seeing a little bit of a decline in the price of Ethereum. So yeah, we will see what happens today when the markets are open again in America. And looking at another 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, we can see this huge horizontal level is coming into play, and every time we touch this level we saw resistance and also support coming into the market, and every time we come to this level, the price interacted with this level. Last week we saw a break of this level, and then we saw a beautiful retest of the previous resistance to test it as support, so from this level you could have entered the market and then you could aim for higher targets. So for now, this level is acting as resistance again. So this is a very strong, and this is a very strong move for Bitcoin. Because in the last weeks, Bitcoin was in a little bit of a downtrend, but now we are shifting again into an uptrend. So this is exactly how the bottom is forming. And this is exactly what we want to see a trend reversal for Bitcoin. So this is looking good like a trend reversal. And we even made a new all-time high. So this is looking very bullish because we are creating a new higher high. This means that Bitcoin is in an uptrend. So let's see if we can push higher and create a new higher high. And that of course will mean that we're seeing a continuation of the bullish momentum to the top side. And zooming all the way out to the daily time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is still in this huge uptrend and we are seeing higher highs and higher lows unfolding. And of course, there's also a bearish scenario possible, but that means that if we're going to create a lower low from this level and also a lower high, that means that we're going to see a trend reversal to the downside. And that could mean that we're going to see a little bit of a bear market unfolding, but we are far from a bear market because I think we're still in the early stages of a bull market. And as we can see, we are still in this range. And Bitcoin is trying to break out of this range and create a new higher high. And if we do so, we can also probably create a new higher low. And from there again, a higher high and higher low and so on and so on. Because from here, we could still see a bullish momentum to the top side. And this will create a lot of bullishness. And of course, we could also see that retail is coming back to the market because new all-time highs are getting formed. And that is what attracts retail to the market. And they will even pump up the price for Bitcoin even more because they are always buying the top. And that's exactly what we want because we are buying at these bear market lows, just like I've been telling you in the last months. And now we are going to make some huge profits altogether. So let me know in the comments what your price prediction for Bitcoin is in 2025. Personally, I think we will see levels around the $250,000 in 2025. And yesterday, the first pro-Bitcoin President Donald Trump officially sworn in as President of the United States. So this is insane, of course. And as he mentioned earlier, that Gary Gensler needs to be fired. And that's exactly what he did. And pro-Bitcoin Mark Uyeda is going to replace Gary Gensler as chair of the SEC. So this is insane, of course. And we also have a pro-Bitcoin SEC chair. So this is very bullish for the crypto market overall. And a lot of people in the government of America are now pro-Bitcoin. So when America is going to buy Bitcoin for their strategic reserve, we could also see that other countries might follow because America is always the number one who is going to do so. And I think a lot of countries will follow and they will also FOMO into the market. And the first altcoin I want to have a look at is Solana. We can see that Solana created a new all-time high during the weekend. And this all-time high came at around $300. And we can see that the last all-time highs were also being broken to the top side. So this is very insane for Solana. But we can also see that this huge resistance is a little bit too strong for now for Solana. So we can also see a little bit of a rejection coming into the market. And this is, of course, nothing to worry about because Solana is looking very strong. And also the Trump coin was launching on Solana. So this was also having a lot of bullish effect on the price of Solana, of course. And in the last months, I was telling you about this huge consolidation formation for Solana. Then we saw a huge breakout to the top side. We retested previous resistance as support. And from there, we saw a beautiful bounce to the top side. And we even retested this resistance 2 times. So you could have entered the market 2 times in the long for Solana. And congratulations if you did. So let me know in the comments if you still hold Solana in your portfolio. And what do you think about Solana in 2025. And if we have another look at Solana on the daily time frame, we can see this huge formation was finally breaking out to the top side. We can see a lot of the touch points on the lower side as support and on the top side as resistance. And eventually the price of Solana was getting squeezed into an apex. We are seeing a beautiful breakout. We created a new all-time high, but now we are seeing a little bit of a decline because the breakout target was getting reached, and that is always the top side of the formation. And we see that this breakout target was getting reached, and now we're seeing a little bit of a decline. So we could also see maybe a retest of this previous resistance to turn it into support. And from here, I'm going to enter the market for Solana in the long, because then this previous resistance will be retested as support. And from there, I think we will see higher levels for Solana, and we could even see a new all-time high again for Solana. So let me know in the comments, are you going to trade Solana? And do you think Solana will reach new all-time highs in the coming days? And then the next altcoin I want to discuss is XRP. In the last weeks, I've been telling you about this huge consolidation formation for XRP. We finally saw a breakout of the price because this trendline resistance was finally broken to the top side. We see a beautiful retest of the resistance to turn it into support. And from here, you could enter the market in a long for XRP. And then we saw a beautiful gain of almost 40%. So this is insane, of course. And congratulations if you took this trade together with me. And now we're seeing a little bit of a decline because after this all-time high was made for XRP, we are now seeing a little bit of a downside because people, of course, are going to take profits. So the markets for XRP are looking very beautiful, and let's see if we can maybe see a continuation of the bullish momentum, because the breakout target of this formation was reached, and we could potentially see a retest of this top side of the formation to turn it into support. And this could also be a very good entry level for XRP if you want to be a little bit more aggressive. But for now, XRP is trading around all-time highs. So when a token is trading around all-time highs, I'm not going to buy, because I'm always going to wait for a retest to lower levels, and then we maybe see a continuation of the bullish price action to the top side. Because you always want to buy in a dip and you don't want to buy the top. Because if you are buying at these prices, you are going to be exit liquidity for a lot of other people. So let me know in the comments, do you still hold XRP in your portfolio? And what do you think about the prices for XRP in 2025? So you can join my free Telegram group in the link in the description under this video. Please like the video if you think it was useful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.